Rain tapped gently against the windows of the small suburban police station, the kind of soft drizzle that seemed to blur the world outside. Inside, the night shift officers were finishing their coffees, leaning back in their chairs, waiting for the quiet hours to pass. It was one of those slow evenings, no fights, no noise complaints, no missing dog reports, nothing but the hum of computers and the occasional static from the radio. Then the door flew open with such force that the sound jolted every officer upright. Standing in the doorway was a little girl, no older than 8. Her face was streaked with tears, her hair damp from the rain, her small hands trembling as she clutched the straps of her faded backpack. Her chest rose and fell in panicked breaths, and her eyes wide, terrified, desperate, scanned the room full of stunned officers. "Please," she gasped, voice cracking, "please follow me home." Officer Jordan Reeves was the first to reach her. He knelt so he could meet her eye level, speaking softly as if trying not to scare a frightened animal. "Sweetheart, slow down. Are you hurt? What happened?" The girl shook her head rapidly. No, not me. It's my mama. She won't wake up. She's lying on the floor. I don't know what to do. Please come. Please." Jordan felt a cold ripple travel down his spine. He had heard those words before, not in the same voice, not from the same child, but the meaning was always the same. "Urgent, serious, dangerous. What's your name?" he asked. "Ava," she whispered. "Okay, Ava, we're going to help you. Can you show us where you live?" She nodded quickly, wiping her wet cheeks. Jordan stood and signaled to 2 near by officers Maria Lopez and veteran officer Carl Simmons. Carl grabbed a medical response kit from the wall. Maria radioed dispatch to notify EMS. They all moved quickly, knowing moments mattered. Jordan placed his hand gently on Ava's back. "We're right behind you. Lead the way." Ava didn't hesitate. She turned and sprinted back into the rainy night, her small shoes splashing through puddles on the sidewalk. The officers followed her, their flashlights cutting beams of white through the darkness. Her pace was fast, faster than most children her age could manage, driven by pure fear. They crossed a few blocks past shuttered shops, quiet homes, and streetlights flickering in the mist until Ava veered sharply into a narrow alley that led to an aging apartment building. The stairwell smelled of mildew, and the light bulb above the door flickered in a sickly yellow glow. Ava darted up the stairs 2 at a time, stopping at the unit on the 3rd floor. "This one," she said, breathless, pointing to a door left slightly ajar. Jordan exchanged a look with Maria, both sensing something heavy, something dark, lingering in the air. He pushed the door open with caution. "Ava, stay behind me, okay?" She clutched Jordan's jacket and nodded. The moment they stepped inside, the smell hit them. Not death, thank God, but neglect, exhaustion, struggle. The apartment was small, dim, cluttered with discarded clothes and dishes. The lights were off, but a faint glow from a street lamp seeped through a cracked window. "Over there," Ava whispered, pointing to the living room. On the floor, beside a threadbare couch, lay a woman in her early 30s. Her skin was pale, sweat glistening on her forehead. Her long dark hair clung to her face, and her arms were limp at her sides. Beside her were several empty pill bottles, some rolling on the floor, some crushed as if stepped on accidentally. Jordan knelt and checked her pulse. It was faint, too faint. "Carl, Getty, MS here now," he barked. Carl rushed outside to speed up the arriving paramedics. Maria began clearing the area, moving aside objects so they could work. Ava hovered behind Jordan, trembling. She was breathing funny. She whispered. "And she said she was dizzy, then she fell. I tried to wake her up, but she didn't answer. I didn't know what to do. I thought she might die." Jordan looked over his shoulder and forced his voice calm. "You did the right thing, Ava. You saved her. Do you hear me? You saved your mom." Ava let out a sob and covered her face. Within minutes, the paramedics rushed in. They worked quickly, checking vitals, administering oxygen, starting Roman 4. They spoke in medical terms that Ava couldn't understand, but she could read their urgency. Jordan kept a steady hand on her back, grounding her. One of the paramedics, a woman with short blonde hair, approached Ava after finishing a rapid assessment. "Sweetheart, your mom is very sick, but we're helping her now. She's going to the hospital. We need you to stay calm, okay?" Ava nodded weakly. "Can I go with her?" she asked. The paramedic hesitated. "You can come in the ambulance, but you'll need an adult with you. Is there anyone else who lives here? A family member, a neighbor?" Ava lowered her head. "No, it's just us." Jordan stepped forward. "I'll go with her." They transported Ava's mother on a stretcher down the narrow stairs. Ava walked beside her, holding her mother's limp hand. The rain had softened into a thin mist when they exited to the street. The flashing lights reflected off the wet pavement like shards of red and blue glass. Inside the ambulance, Ava refused to let go of her mother's hand. Jordan sat beside her, buckled in, watching the paramedics work. He didn't speak. There was nothing he could say that would make it easier, so he simply stayed close. At the hospital, doctors took Ava's mother into an emergency room. Ava waited in the hallway with Jordan while nurses rushed around her, silhouettes in scrubs moving like ghosts. After what felt like hours, though only 30 minutes had passed, a doctor approached them. He was a middle-aged man with gentle eyes and deep worry lines across his face. "Are you here with the patient?" he asked Jordan. "Yes." He crouched to Ava's level. "Sweetheart, your mom had an overdose. Not on purpose, she mixed medications that shouldn't be taken together. Her body is very weak, but she's stable now. She's asleep, and we're taking care of her." Ava let out a shuddering breath, one hand pressed to her chest. "She's not dying." "No," the doctor said softly. "She's not dying." Ava collapsed against Jordan in pure relief. He caught her gently. Once Ava calmed, they let her see her mother. She stood beside the hospital bed, staring at the wires and monitors, afraid to breathe too loudly. She reached for her mom's hand. "You scared me," Ava whispered. "Please don't do that again." Jordan always remembered that moment, a small child comforting a grown adult, her tiny fingers holding onto hope with more strength than anyone in the room. Over the next few hours, social services arrived. They questioned Ava gently about her home life, about how long her mother had been sick, whether she had family, whether she felt safe. Ava answered honestly. "My mom works a lot," she said. "She's tired all the time. Sometimes she doesn't eat so I can eat. She gets sick a lot because she skips her medicine, but she tries really hard. She's all I have." Her voice cracked. Jordan felt something twist inside him, not pity, but admiration. This little girl carried more than most adults, yet she still spoke with love instead of anger. Social worker Dana Wells flipped through her notes, then glanced at Jordan. "She can't stay alone tonight. The mother needs to be monitored. We may need temporary placement." Ava's eyes widened with panic. "No, please, I don't want to leave my mom." Dana sighed sympathetically. "It might just be for one night, sweetheart," Jordan interrupted. "She can stay with me." Both Dana and Ava stared at him. "I live 2 blocks from the station," he continued. "Safe neighborhood, guest room. My sister is home tonight. She'll help. It's 1 night, maybe 2. I'll bring Ava back as soon as her mom is awake and cleared." Dana hesitated. "That's unusual. It's also the best choice," Jordan said. "She's terrified. I won't let her feel abandoned." Ava tugged on Dana's sleeve. "Please, I trust him." Dana finally agreed. Jordan took Ava home that night. His sister, Emily, welcomed her warmly, giving her dry clothes, hot soup, and a warm blanket. Ava barely spoke, but her eyes softened a little as she sat on the couch, holding a stuffed bear Emily gave her. "Do you want to sleep?" Jordan asked. Ava shook her head. Can we stay awake until they call, in case my mom needs me? Jordan nodded. Of course. They stayed up late watching cartoons with the volume low. Ava eventually fell asleep leaning against Jordan's shoulder. He carried her to the guest bed, tucking her in gently. He stood in the doorway afterward, watching her breathe softly, thinking about how close she had been to losing everything. By morning, the hospital called. Ava's mother, Lily, was awake. When they arrived, Lily burst into tears the moment she saw Ava. She held her daughter so tightly one might think she feared she would disappear. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry, baby." Ava cried too, burying her face in her mother's chest. Jordan stepped back, giving them space. A doctor approached him and spoke quietly. "She'll recover physically, but she needs long-term support. She's been working 3 jobs, barely sleeping. Malnutrition, exhaustion, stress. This wasn't intentional, just a woman pushed past her limits." He nodded. "I figured." When Lily finally noticed Jordan, she reached for his hand, tears still in her eyes. "Thank you. You saved us both." Jordan shook his head. "Your daughter saved you. She knew exactly what to do." Lily looked at her daughter with awe. "I'm so proud of you," she whispered. Over the next week, social services worked out support for Lily: financial aid, medical care, counseling, a reduced work schedule. Officers helped too, donating groceries and essentials. The community rallied behind them. A month later, Ava and Lily were doing better than ever. Lily looked healthier, rested, alive. Ava was smiling again, not carrying the fear she once did. One evening, Jordan received a knock on his door. When he opened it, he found Ava holding a small drawing. She handed it to him shyly. It showed 3 figures: a little girl, her mother, and a police officer standing beside them under a giant sun. At the top were the words, "Thank you for following me home." Jordan felt his throat tighten. Ava smiled up at him. "You saved my family." He crouched and met her eyes. "No, Ava, you saved your mom, and you saved yourself. You're the bravest girl I've ever met." She hugged him tightly, and he hugged her back. What the officers found that rainy night wasn't tragedy. It was a small home full of fight, sacrifice, love, and a child determined to save the person she loved most. And it left everyone who witnessed it in tears, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming reminder of how powerful a child's courage can be.